Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Country with another installment of Mutant Monday, and today we'll be looking at 10 Lives of Wolverine, Issue 1. And as this and the accompanying series, 10 Deaths of Wolverine, will be shipping weekly for the next, well, for a total of 10 weeks, we will be covering this much the same way we covered House of X and Powers of 10. So, for the next the next 9 weeks after this, we'll have Mutant Mondays as well. Okay, so we open with Logan on a cliff slab, presumably on Krakoa, basically saying how he's explaining he's a much bigger fan of analog watches and clocks than digital. Explaining that it lets you see the possibility of all time, is the way he puts it. Then Xavier shows up, explaining that it's time. And then flashback to the night Charles Xavier was born. The groundskeeper at the Xavier estate, which would later become the Charles Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters, attempts to kill Brian Xavier with a pair of hedge clippers, but Wolverine saves him, and it turns out that the groundskeeper is possessed by Omega Red, which gives him the ability to manifest tendrils similar to Omega Red's. But then in the present, we see Omega Red breaking into the hatchery and finding out about his the resurrection, the parameters for his own resurrection. There's also a note about this from the Five for X-Force, with a response from Beast, basically saying that the Five's job is to cook what they order. So yeah. But the complaint from the Five is namely that perhaps they could make changes they could change how Omega Red's physiology in such a manner so that he wouldn't need the carbonadium synthesizer anymore. But yeah. But turns out that Omega Red's mind, as whatever, is able to jump from body to body. And so when Logan catches up with the groundskeeper is no longer possessed, but now the butler is, and tries to shoot Brian Xavier, though Brian kills him with a shotgun blast. Then on to the midwife, and it turns out that when Omega Red is possessing someone, you see the reflection in a mirror, you see Omega Red instead of them. But Logan comes in, ensures the birth of Xavier. In the present, we learn that basically what they're basically doing is time travel in the same manner that was used in the Days of Future Past storyline with Kitty Pryde. For those who may be unaware, in Days of Future, the comic book version of Days of Future Past, the original story, it was not Wolverine's mind that was set back in time, but rather Kitty Pryde's. Wolverine got the flesh seared off his bones by a Sentinel's blast. But yeah, Xavier and Jean send Wolverine's mind back in time, and Charles is born, and in fact, Logan cuts the umbilical cord. In Moscow, Omega Red steps through a gate and demands to see Mikhail Rasputin. Is brought before Mikhail Rasputin. We get an entry from Sage's logbook on the New Russia, explaining that a new constitution was recently drafted to embrace two Russias and two leaders: the president of the people and the president of the mutants. They could function as twins in the womb, nesting dolls in service to the mother country. The president of the mutants is Mikhail Rasputin, and Sage says it's unconfirmed that Mikhail Rasputin is data mining the Cerebro Sword. Now, the Cerebro Sword was basically crafted from the remains of the Cerebro helmet that Xavier was wearing when he was shot back in, I want to say, X-Force number 2. Magneto made the shards of the helmet into a sword, and when Xavier was resurrected, the sword was given to him. Later, operatives of Mikhail Rasputin stole the sword as well, and while Quentin Quire chased after it, he was also captured, which I presume led to the clone that Zeno had of him. They used a while back in X-Force. But Xavier is born, and Omega Red leaps out a window as the midwife. Midwife is at least injured. It seems like she's probably dead, but there's kind of a groan sound coming from her. So, but then Logan goes elsewhere in time to his days with Team X, apparently in Colombia, and he has to save Xavier alongside the Team X era versions of Sabretooth and Maverick. And that is where the issue ends. This is going to be a long running. This is going to be This is going to be one of 2 5-issue miniseries. We'll be writing currently week by week. I like the fact that they're picking up off of at least doing something with the Mikhail Rasputin plot from X-Force. I do have to wonder if this is going to affect... I'm going to guess from all of the promotional images from Immortal X-Men, the events of the storyline will not cause Colossus to be expelled from the Quiet Council. That said, due to the fact that it has been shown in X-Force that Mikhail is utilizing I'm not sure how, I think it's... I want to say it's another mutant with extra dimensional abilities who's able to basically write a story and make it true, to control Colossus. I don't think this is going to be something that like I said, I don't think that's going to be something that's going to that might be resolved, but I doubt it will be. It will lead to Colossus' removal from the council. But anyway, that will do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.